All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a module. This is something I love talking about when it comes to leadership development, and that's knowing yourself as a leader. Knowing yourself first as a person, and then knowing yourself as a leader. Self-awareness is key to improving yourself and your leadership skills. And what I mean by self-awareness is not what people tell you, is what you are aware of yourself. And so, what does that mean? That means you got to get to know you. One of the things that I pride myself on is that I know myself. And I always say 98% of the situations and circumstances that I get myself into or that comes about with me in my environment, I I can tell you how I'm going to respond, how I'm going to act. Why 98%? Because I have to leave 2% for some uncertainty. But 98% of the time, I can tell you how Dr. Williams is going to respond. I can tell you how Dr. Williams is going to react in a certain situation. And then that's because in my experience, I've been involved in a lot of situations. Even in a highly stressful situation, because I'm a combat veteran of the Army and the Navy, and so I did a lot of years of combat. So people say, well, what if you get involved in this type of situation? I'm like, well, I already been involved in those situations. And one of the great things that I took away from that is one, I have experience in that. And then now I have the knowledge of myself even more to know, okay, this is how Dr. Williams will respond, Um, and that's important for you as a leader. That's very important for you as a leader. That's not important for anybody else. And when you go to do your self-assessment of yourself, yeah, it's great. You could take personality quizzes. There's a lot of them out here. It doesn't matter. Pick one, right? I've taken several personality quizzes, and I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of them hit me right, hit the nail right on the head with a lot of things. But there's no personality quiz. There's no therapist. There's no doctor. There's no anybody that can tell me more about me than me, right? Because I know me. And the thing about that is too, is because I have learned to be honest with myself 100%. And that's the thing that most people it's very difficult for them to be, is honest 100% with themselves. So one of the things people always ask me with Dr. Williams when it comes to one of the first steps in developing true leadership, what would you suggest, or what do you say it is? And I always say this. I always say, okay, because I have a leadership methodology called 3XP Leadership, and 3XP stands for, I believe there's three leaders within one leader, right? You have your P1, which is your self leader. That should be your foundation, should be. Okay. Your P2 is your personal leader. That's who people, your friends and family see, right? Then you got your P3, that's your professional leader. And that's who people see at work or at school or whatever you're in your professional setting, right? But most people operate from the P2, P3, but they don't operate from the P1, which is because they don't know themselves. That they didn't develop that self leader enough to get to know themselves. So this is what I always tell people. You really want to get to know who you are. One of the first things you must do is you must stop lying to yourself, right? Hold up a mirror, right? Hold up a mirror, or do like I'm doing, looking at yourself in the camera, right? That person looking back at you, that person knows everything about you. So why would you lie to that person? Okay. That person knows everything about you. That person knows your past, right? Your hidden past, your secrets, your thoughts, right? Knows your words, right? Knows your actions, knows everything. And I always say, look, you can lie to everybody else out there, but the one thing you need to stop doing is lying to yourself, right? And stop giving yourself excuses for your words and your actions, because your words and your actions is what makes up you, right? So when you say something, and now the context in which you say it might not have been right, but you meant what you said. Be honest with yourself. Okay, that's one of the things about Dr. Williams, that I'm one complete honest with myself, right? And the second thing that to start off with developing your self leadership is that you have to understand, good or bad, doesn't matter, good or bad. You are where you are right now because of the decisions that you have made or didn't make, right? It's the hardest pill to swallow in self leadership. I am where I am. My mistakes, right? My wrongdoings, or all that was based upon me. Okay. And last tip I always say with that too, and the reason why I say that, people are like, well, and I've had many clients say, well, no, because this person did this, that person did that. And I always let people know, understand something. When you're pointing a finger at someone or something else, remember, three are always pointing back at you. Three fingers are always pointing back at you. What does that mean? That means that from that whole situation, one part was more than likely that person or that environment's um, fault, but three parts, right, were yours, and they were yours based on your decisions, based on your inactions or actions, right? Or non-decisions or indecisiveness, which normally causes a lot of it, right? But those are the three things that you really, really need to focus on to get to know yourself, right? And to build up your self-leadership. You got to know who you are. And when I walk into the door, no matter where I go, who most people see, and you see the P3, the professional leader of mine. But my professional leadership and my personal leadership all stems from my self leadership, right? Because you have to learn how to lead you first. You're the CEO of you. So you are a leader because you're the CEO of you. So you have to ask yourself, how are you leading you? And be honest with yourself when you ask that question. It's not a question for anybody else. It's not a question for your best friend. It's not a question for your spouse or your mate or whoever, your mom, your dad, your family. That's a question only you can really, truly answer for yourself. So if you want to really know yourself, just remember those pointers I gave you. And it takes time to get to, to accept that. Because it took Dr. Williams some time. I wasn't always like that. I didn't always accept myself, but I accept myself now, right? And I accept all my faults. I accept all my mistakes. I accept all my wrongdoings and my right doings, just not everything that's wrong, but I accept everything about me, which makes Dr. Williams him, and which makes me know that I know myself. So as you go through this, take some self-assessments and really get to know yourself.